The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Earnestly podcast coming to you April 9th, 2023. How you guys doing? Happy Easter, everybody here. As we're right into the spring right now. I know with pretty much if you work in the the entertainment industry, or what I do, deal poker and that nature, this is normally the time where we consider this the end of the season. A lot of our snowbirds end up going back home around this time. But anyway, it is Easter. It is a new episode of the podcast. It is Sunday. Again, I've been sneaking in these Sundays episodes once in a while. And I think what I'm seeing now, I think with my kids getting older, as we'll just talk about it in a second, they just had a birthday this week. I'm starting to realize that the older they get now, I'm able to actually squeeze in more of these solo episodes. I don't like doing episodes with guests, with the kids around, because if they need me last minute, I want to, I don't want to, have my guest be, compromised in that situation. But at least with an episode for myself, I can navigate that. And I'm noticing that my kids now get to the age now where I can actually, sneak away and do a quick 20, 30-minute episode, because they have enough things around them to distract them. My oldest son right now is currently in the bath. My oldest son right now is outside, just right outside these walls in our bedroom, outside the studio, entertaining himself. He's on his iPad. He's watching shows on his iPad or playing games on his iPad. So I'm starting to realize now I have a little bit of space now to do these things now, where I can actually, again, except for the last couple of years as the kids, doing this and doing this as a parent, as the kids get older, you get more time to do the things you love to do. You get more time, more space. And, when the kids start school, you have time on the days you're home to do these podcasts and whatnot. And I think the difference is now, in the past, I would go 100%, do a show every day, that kind of thing. Now I'm kind of like at a point now where, I'm okay with laying back, picking my points to do shows. I don't want to get burned out. I also want to enjoy other things in my life outside of podcasting and other content, taking other content. For example, like right now, the NBA playoffs is about to start in a couple of days, and, that's going to be, you'll see on this show, especially, it'll be a big theme the next couple months on the show. I'll have guests on the show pertaining to the NBA playoffs. I'll do episodes pertaining to the playoffs. In fact, in the next episode I'm recording on Tuesday, I'm playing on Tuesday, is I'm going to run through my over-unders, my preseason over-unders for the year, see where I landed on that, my NBA awards, and then my play-in predictions. And then later in the week, if I have time, I'll do a quick first-round predictions on the first round of the playoffs, probably on Friday. So this is going to be a fairly solid week on the podcast. I sound a little nasally right now because I had a bad allergy attack last night. Couldn't sleep much last night. This morning woke up all moody. I could barely breathe. It's really annoying. It really, really, really is. In fact, don't be surprised if I pause a couple times here and just to sneeze or to blow my nose or that kind of thing. I know you want to hear that, but yeah, it's been kind of a last couple days, and every so often I'll get like these little allergy attacks, and I don't know, these meds. The meds I've been using. I mean, I guess I've been using the meds the last couple days. So, there you go. You buy more meds this week. So, that's on the docket, of course. So, as you guys know, this is a show for the last 12 years. I've been doing the show. This is a big week for us. Well, this past week is a big week for us normally. First off, I celebrated my 12-year wedding anniversary with my wife and I, Lauren. Didn't do anything really much because our schedules don't allow to it. And then the kids' birthdays, too, on top of that. And we tend to cater everything around my kids anyway. So we blend it in, but we kind of just like, because the kids also turned this week 10 and 6. So we did, last Sunday we went to Line Country Safari with family and friends. Great turnout. We had about 29 people show up to that event. So thank all my friends and family that showed up for that. That was a fantastic time. I had a great time for that. So we went there last Sunday. That was fun. Monday, we worked a regular day Monday. Took my youngest kid, who turned 6 the next day. But since my wife was working the entire day on Tuesday, we decided to celebrate his birthday on Monday. We asked him when we want to go eat. He decided to go to Chili's. So we decided on Chili's. I got myself a steak dinner with veggies. Again, as I'm going through this whole like healthier phase and eating clean and trying to reverse the diabetes, these are the challenges I'm following. These are the challenges I'm running into. Is I don't eat that much anymore anyway as it is, but when I do, I'm typically used to eating junk and having sodas or sugary drinks with it. This time I had a big steak with broccoli, asparagus, and a unsweetened iced tea. Did I enjoy it? Yes. But at the same time, was it hard mentally? In that moment, it was too. It really was. I bragged about in the last month, going through this, saying that the transition for me going from someone that's eaten anything he wants and without consequence to now transitioning to this healthy phase. And I got to tell you, and I've said it, that it's been easier than I thought. And it really has been. But there are certain moments, though, I will say that I run into where I randomly get a craving for sweets, randomly get a craving for a soda. It's random. That happens this week twice. So this week, I said, we had an anniversary this week. My anniversary. I got to party with my family and friends. Fantastic time. Monday out with my youngest son. Well, youngest son celebrated his birthday. And ate clean, like I said. And then Friday, we went to celebrate our oldest son's birthday, who turned 10 yesterday, but we celebrated on Friday because, again, I worked on Saturday day. Wife worked Saturday evening. So one of those things where we just had to, kind of like, okay, we'll do it this day. We went to see a movie before we did that. We went to one of our favorite pizza places locally here, Rotelli's. We ordered a pizza and some rolls and stuff. But again, another thing where I'm not used to eating pizza without sodas. I always eat pizza and soda kind of goes hand in hand. Instead, I got, once again, unsweetened iced tea. So again, it's one of these little things here where you don't really think about it in the moment until you are in the moment where you're like, oh wait, I used to get this drink or this sweets with this food, but now we're changing the way we eat now, the way I eat especially too, and it's like I said, it's harder sometimes at times. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, I gorged a little bit of pizza. I think I got 3 slices. I should have got probably maybe 2, but whatever. I was kind of looking forward to that. And I think also, too, the good thing about doing this lifestyle for me is that when I do get an opportunity to eat things that aren't necessarily great for you, but things you appreciate, I think you get to appreciate those foods a lot more. Like when you get those times to have a quote-unquote cheat day. And granted, I don't have cheat days necessarily either. I haven't necessarily partaken in an actual cheat day yet. I think the big challenge for me is going to be when football starts this year, and because typically in football season, when I am at home, I make my own foods, I make my own wings. I tend to. That's like the one day I tend to go a little bit more. Sundays I tend to be a little bit more looser on the foods and stuff. So finding a right balance there. But we went to we took the kids out, like I said, to dinner at Rotelli's to celebrate my oldest son's birthday. Just turned 10 as well. Had a good time there. My wife's best friend and her daughter came by and had a good time. Then we went to the movies. We saw Super Mario Brothers, the movie. Great movie, fun, very simple. Stay true to the video game, of course. I enjoyed it. It was one of those things where, I don't go to theaters often, but now us going to the theaters, for me, especially going once a year, seems like I go like once a year now, if that. But when I go to the theaters now, they're like an event for me now. Like even before the pandemic, I was going to the theaters maybe twice a year. I had been doing that probably. I was on the downswing of not going to movies for a while because honestly, unless it's a movie worth seeing in a theater, I don't go on my way to do it. My wife does. She goes to movies all the time. Because a lot of movies that she likes to watch, and she'll go with her girlfriends or go with her brother when he was living down here. I'm a little more conservative on that one. I'll go if I need to. And then it got to the point where like I haven't gone once a year. I went last time to the movies. Honestly, last time to the movies prior to this weekend was this time last year when we took my oldest son to see Sonic the Hedgehog last April. So I don't go to movies often. So all of a sudden now going to the theater now, it's like an event now for me. Like it's like a big deal. Like where something I used to go and do on the regular. As a kid, I would go to movies at least once every like 2-3 weeks, at least once a month. Now I go once a year. And of course the theater and everything's changing now in the industry where now everything comes to streaming, and I appreciate that. But I also going to the theater, I appreciated being in the moment. We're being there in the theater with people, watching a movie. Good movie. Like I said, it wasn't anything. It wasn't. Changing the way we do movies. Super Mario Bros. Was a simple movie, action packed, fun for kids. Although adults can enjoy it too. As a fan, as someone who played that game a lot as a kid, wasn't necessarily a big video game guy, but growing up, I was either sports games or Mario Brothers. It was either playing John Madden football, NBA 2K, or NBA Jam, or Super Mario Brothers. That was how I treated video games growing up as a kid. So it was a good movie, and it stuck to the. It stayed very true to the script of staying close to the game itself. The games. I remember seeing the movie 30 years ago, the one that came out in 1993. Honestly, I saw it one time back then. Didn't even enjoy it. Don't even remember how it went. And so one of those things where it is what it is. But I enjoyed it. We went to the movies. We went there about 6:30. Got the 6:30 showing. Got up at 8 o'clock. Enough time to get the kids to bed at a reasonable time. A little bit past their bedtime. No big deal. It's just on Friday. And it's had a good time. And it's funny, like, I'm talking about going to movies and being rare. I'm actually planning to go to movies again this week to see the Metallica listening party this coming Thursday. So it's going to be 2 times in a week I'm going to movies, and probably only 2 times in a year, most likely, although there's a couple movies coming out this summer that I kind of want to see. I think there's the new Guardians of the Galaxy coming out next month, and there's also the new Spider-Man movie coming out in June, so maybe I'll get out for those. Again, challenge for us is like, if my wife and I go to movies together, we got to get a babysitter. We got a babysitter to watch the kids for a couple hours. We could do that. I hate asking my mother to always watch the kids for us, because I like to use those opportunities for things that actually do matter. So I sacrifice, not doing certain events. Or my wife and I will separate. Like, I'll do an event and she'll go to the movie. I'll watch the kids and vice versa. So that's how we work. That magic, because like it's hard for me to. It's really hard for me to honestly. Like I said, I don't want to over rely on people all the time. So I'll be at the theater on Thursday to see the Metallica listening party. I'll review that and the album in a later show, whatever it may be. But it's been a very active week. Like I said, the birthdays for the kids, 20th anniversary of me and the wife. Like I said, I like to do something with her. Probably on a 50th anniversary, something big. Maybe go somewhere, and I don't know, some big trip for one of these years when the kids get older, we probably do something on the larger side in terms of a big vacation or a big dinner or something like that. But I mean, we wife and I have really sacrificed a lot for our kids, in the name of providing for them also, but also we've kind of also lost, in some ways, we lose ourselves too. Like we sacrifice our personal needs to make sure our kids are okay. And look, I'm not complaining about it, because that's, you do what you got to do, and as long as the family's intact and you try to find ways to meet in the middle, we're good. And we've always been good, But I will say, I'm starting to get the itch now to do more. I'm getting the itch now to wanting to, travel more and to start opening up. As the kids get older, they start to want to do things also. So my wife and I have been talking about starting, making a habit now every year now, especially now with the pandemic in the rearview mirror, to do at least one family vacation a year. Now, there's some challenges there financially, of course, because, in our case, my wife and I, although we have really good jobs, our jobs are considered part-time. We don't get we don't get insurance in our jobs. We don't get PTO. So basically, if any time we take off, unless we replace with other days, we're losing days. We're losing money. So it's one of those things where we got to play the balancing act. So we try to save money on the side to make these things happen. The way we've been able to fulfill some of our personal exploits has been, like, for example, my wife likes to go to Disney. So what we do, every so often she'll go on a little 2-day, 3-day weekends girls trip with, to Disney World. She has passes. No big deal. I'll stay home with the kids. Sometimes I'll take a day or two off, depending on how the situation works out. Or if I want to go do an event here or go to a concert here, she'll stay home and watch the kids for me. And so that's kind of been the way we've been able to fulfill our personal, wants and needs. But at the same time, we haven't done much as a family outside the usual. Like, the kids can start getting older. I mean, like I said, the youngest one's 6. He's getting older now, too. We're starting having a desire now to want to do more vacations. And so where like, for example, next year we're considering going to WrestleMania. That's one of the things we're going to talk about, like next April, doing a family trip to Philadelphia for WrestleMania 40. Of course, the challenge there, of course, is saving money for that. That's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars. Number one, tickets going to be up through the roof because remember, it's 2 nights, not 1 night, but 2 nights. Plus, getting an Airbnb or hotel, and then flights, of course, unless you decide to drive up there. But even then, that's still money. And then before that, which is the bigger priority for us, and for me, especially me, my wife and I, is my brother, who's already married, but he's going to be celebrating his wedding in Curacao, the island of Curacao, in December. And that's priority number one. And that's something I'm starting to save for now. And I know that trip alone is going to cost bottom end $2,000 at least. Between flights, which is right now, looking at flights now, it's pretty expensive now. This is between $400 and $600 per person. You have also a hotel, which is not, for what I've seen, not that bad actually price wise. We're going to go 3 days, 2 nights, of course, because again, time off for work and all that. And then also I have to get my passport renewed. I haven't been out of the country in 23 years, so get my passport renewed, and then my wife has to get a passport, so that's another couple $100 there. And then I would rather not bring my kids with me because I kind of make it like an adult trip, So I'd rather not bring my kids with me to this trip. So I need to ask my mom to watch the kids for the weekend for us. So if that goes down, then this could happen. So that trip is part number one. Okay. Then I got a friend of mine who wants to go to Atlanta in October to see Queen in concert, which I'm down for. We can make it work. Saw tickets for that that concert in Atlanta in October. By the way, it's Queen with Adam Lambert for the record. Queen plus Adam Lambert. Tickets on low end are $250. So after that, that's a pretty penny just to get into the concert alone. Then we got to fly up there, and then most likely I think the show's on a Monday or Tuesday. I'm taking out time off of work as well too for this. So this is the challenge that I gotta the balance act I gotta do. But again, I'm getting to the point now. Talked to with my mom a couple days ago that I'm getting to the point now where I'm starting to get the itch now to just do more. I want to go out and live life. I'm 40. I'll be 43 in a couple weeks. I've, especially since becoming a parent, have lived a very conservative life, and I do, and I love my life. I love my life as it is. I love the simplicity of my life. I love the simple things of my life. I love I like my repetition. No wrong. I love it, but I'm starting to get the itch now to do more, to live. I think this diabetic diagnosis also is kind of trigger things. That you look at mortality. You're not guaranteed tomorrow, not guaranteed next month, next year. Do more. So I'm trying to weigh some certain discomforts of trying to save money and to be frugal and to be smart, but also wanting to still do more and to go out in the open and to experience things and to do things. So that's kind of a challenge right now I'm having. So I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of like my But number one thing right now in my mind is to do more and to, I sound very nasally right now. I apologize, guys. That's kind of what my mind is right now, honestly. What else? I named this episode 12, 11, 10, 6 because 12 is the anniversary. 10 is my oldest son's birthday. 6 is my youngest son's birthday. 11 represents my grandmother, my mom's side, my mom's mom, who passed away actually today. 11 years ago. I was very close to her, to Thomasine Teresa D'Souza. And, it's funny, when she passed away, like, I feel guilty saying this too, because when she passed away, not that I forgot about her, but there was so much that happened in my life from the time I got married the year before she passed away. Okay? Then she passed away a year later. And then, a year after that, became pregnant for the first time. And you sort of, I explained in the past how, like, when you become a parent, you kind of get swallowed up in this whole new life. Not saying forget your family and friends and all that, but you kind of sort of dive into this whole new life and this new chapter, and some of the things in the past that you tend to not forget, but you kind of like, it is kind of becomes a distant memory. So when she passed away, I was very sad. I don't think I actually really grieved in the same way when she passed away. And I'm not saying I agree with her now, but I do miss her. And I always wondered had I had kids a little earlier. You know, I had my first child at 32, turning 33 weeks later. And I always wondered, because knowing my grandmother how she was, and she loved me and her grandkids, and now she had her great-grands, she would have loved my kids. She would have been obsessed with Eli and Logan, without question. And, she kind of came to my mind today in a way where it was like, whoa. And it hadn't been that way in a long time. Like, even the years when she passed away, after she passed away, yes, I acknowledge the date she passed away and the memories, all that, but the more we get away from that, it gets a little easier to deal with it. But for some reason this year, it actually hit me a little more than usual. And I think because, again, you get older, you're reflective on things, you look at life, experience of things, mortality, all that. It came up. That's honestly been the theme this year for me, has been reflecting on a lot of things. Passings and friendships and family and all that. Anyway, we get off this podcast. I'm struggling here. EJ7 on Twitter. Earnestly Podcast, Podcast Catchers. YouTube page, youtube.com/EarnestChristian. We'll do one of these pods on Tuesday. Like I said, basketball, every related part coming up. So, till then, love you guys. Talk to you guys later. God bless you all.